Pope Francis, the 266th leader of the Catholic Church,
on
a
the
man of
logology
humility,
and
compassion, and
Pope
conviction.
Francis.
In his
Taken
final days, he
from
walked the path
his
of
on the
Christ,
loggia.
not just in memory, but in mission. It was April 13th, Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week, the most sacred time in the Christian calendar. Pope Francis, frail but determined, stepped into the sunlight of St. Peter's Square. Unaided by oxygen, he greeted over 20,000 worshippers with a warm smile and a simple message. Happy Palm Sunday. Happy Holy Week. On Holy Thursday, Francis visited Rome's Regina Coeli prison. Though too weak to perform the traditional washing of feet, he sat with nearly 70 inmates, present not in ritual, but in spirit. He told them, "I want to be with you," to do what Jesus did on Holy Thursday. By Good Friday, his strength had waned. He chose not to attend the annual Way of the Cross at the Colosseum, a rare absence. But his silence echoed louder than words, a quiet reflection of Christ's suffering. On Easter Sunday, Pope Francis surprised many. Though Cardinal Angelo Camastri led the Mass, Francis emerged from the loggia balcony. With great effort, he gave his final blessing, a moment etched into the hearts of millions. He rode once more through the piazza. The people cried out, "Viva il Papa! Bravo!" The shepherd of the flock gave his last wave. His final speech, read aloud by Archbishop Diego Ravelli, was a plea for peace in Gaza, Ukraine, Congo, Myanmar. He spoke of the vulnerable, the marginalized, and the migrants, and he urged leaders to resist fear, to choose
Dear brothers
mercy,
and sisters,
development,
Happy
and hope.
Easter.
That same day, he met briefly with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, exchanging Easter greetings, a final gesture of diplomacy, dialogue, and unity. A day after Easter, Pope Francis passed away. He was 88. He spent his last week the way he lived his life, in service to God and humanity. To the end, Pope Francis remained a shepherd of peace, a voice for the voiceless, and a light in a divided world. The death of a pope marks the end of a spiritual era and the beginning of one of the most sacred and ancient transitions in the world. From confirming his passing to electing his successor, every step is steeped in centuries of prayer, ritual, and divine order. This is what happens when the pope dies. The process begins not with bells or crowds. The first step, before anything else, is confirming the pope's death. Traditionally, this responsibility falls to the Camerlengo, that's Italian for Chamberlain Cardinal, who oversees the transition process, a senior cardinal appointed to oversee the affairs of the Church during the sede vacante, or the vacancy of the apostolic see. Centuries ago, the ritual was dramatic. The Camerlengo would approach the pope's lifeless form with a silver hammer, gently tapping him 3 times on the forehead, calling him by his baptismal name. Today, a doctor confirms the death, but the Camerlengo remains the one who formally declares it. With the Pope's death confirmed, the Church enters the interregnum, a period of papal vacancy. The papal apartments are sealed, a tradition meant to prevent interference or looting. Only the Camerlengo and his deputy witness this. This begins the sede vacante. Literally, the seat is vacant. The Holy See enters a time of stillness and preparation. News of the Pope's death is shared, first with church leadership, then the world. The bells of St. Peter's Basilica toll once for each year of his life. The fisherman's ring, bearing the Pope's seal, is removed and destroyed, symbolizing the end of his authority. Now, the Church has entered the interregnum, a period of papal vacancy, and the entire Roman Curia, the Vatican's administrative body, has lost its authority. Only a few roles remain active. The Camerlengo, who now acts as the Vatican's steward. The major penitentiary, responsible for confessions and spiritual dispensations. And the apostolic nuncios, papal diplomats around the world. What follows are 9 days of mourning, the Novem Dialis. The Pope's body is taken in procession to St. Peter's Basilica. The Litany of the Saints is sung. He lies in state as the faithful come to pray. Pope Francis, in 2023, asked for a simpler funeral. An open coffin, no ornate displays. A pastor, not a prince. His funeral mass takes place in St. Peter's Square. A sea of scarlet-robed cardinals gathers, joined by global leaders and often more than 1 million mourners. He is buried within 4 to 6 days in a wooden and zinc coffin, along with coins, gold, silver, and copper, marking his years of service. The Pope is traditionally buried in St. Peter's Basilica, but some, like Pope Francis, have requested burial elsewhere. Francis, for instance, at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, beneath an icon he holds dear, Our Lady Protectress of the Roman People. As the world mourns, the Church prepares. Cardinals from across the globe arrive in Rome, wearing red cassocks, mozzettas, and birrettas. But not all cardinals are created equal. The College of Cardinals is divided into 3 orders: cardinal bishops, the most senior; cardinal priests, typically archbishops and curial officials; cardinal deacons, often theologians or Vatican administrators. Not every cardinal can vote. Only those under the age of 80 may enter the sacred assembly known as the conclave to vote. From the full College of Cardinals, about 255 members, only 120 or fewer may enter the vote. 15 days after the Pope's death, the conclave begins. The cardinals attend Mass at St. Peter's, then retreat to the Sistine Chapel, where the conclave has been held since 1878, and they take an oath of confidentiality. Breaking that oath results in automatic excommunication. Phones are surrendered. Radios and papers are banned. No outside contact until a new pope is chosen. Non-voting cardinals and assistants depart. Only the electors remain. They receive ballots inscribed with the Latin phrase, Elego in summum pontificem, I elect as supreme pontiff. Ballots are cast. Votes are counted by scrutineers. Each name is read aloud, then sewn onto a thread to prevent fraud. The process can take days or weeks. Voting begins with a single ballot. Subsequent days allow 4 votes daily. Every few days, a break is given for prayer and reflection. To be elected, a candidate must receive a 2/3 majority, a rule reinstated by Pope Benedict XVI to preserve unity and tradition. If no consensus is reached after numerous ballots, the cardinals continue with cycles of votes and exhortations from senior members of each cardinal order. Each vote is cast into a chalice, then burned. The smoke from the chimney tells the world the result. Black smoke means no decision. White smoke means Habemus Papam means we have a pope. The elected cardinal is asked, "Do you accept your canonical election?" If he accepts, he becomes the pope instantly, even before he steps out into the world. He chooses a papal name, often to reflect a predecessor or saint he wishes to emulate. He is then dressed in white papal vestments and led to the balcony of blessings. The senior cardinal deacon steps forward and announces, Habemus Papam. The new pope appears to deliver his first blessing, Urbi et Orbi, to the city and the world. In the days that follow, the new pope is formally inaugurated. At Mass in St. Peter's Square, he receives the pallium, a symbol of his role as shepherd of the flock, and a new fisherman's ring, engraved with the image of St. Peter. This ring will one day be broken, just like his predecessors. For over 2,000 years, this sacred process has ensured continuity from Peter the Apostle to the present-day Vicar of Christ. It's not just a change in leadership. It is a reaffirmation of faith, of unity, and of divine purpose. In the heart of Rome, beneath the eyes of the saints, a new shepherd rises to guide the church once more. Thanks for watching Anointed TV. If you found this video informative, give it a like and share it with someone seeking to understand the Catholic faith. Subscribe for more content on faith, history, and sacred traditions. Let us know in the comments. Which part of this process inspires you the most?
Of Jesus. And now we see Pope Francis is arriving in St. Peter's Square, greeted by the faithful in the Pope Mobile. Now, this is the first time that the Pope has gone in his Popemobile to greet crowds in St. Peter's Square since his hospitalization that lasted 38 days. He did, however, visit the Regina Coeli prison in Rome on Holy Thursday and spend some time with prisoners there. And yesterday he did spend also some time in St. Peter's Basilica in prayer.